All right, so today we're diving into something pretty cool. I think Japanese anime.
Ooh, fun.
And we're not just talking about like our favorite shows though, right?
Right.
You sent us a really interesting collection of research articles.
Yeah,
It looks like we're going kind of deep on this one,
absolutely.
like into the cultural roots of why anime is such a global phenomenon.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? I mean, it's so popular, and I think it goes way beyond just the storylines and the visuals.
Right.
You know, to really understand it, we need to look at what's underneath all of that.
Okay. Yeah, so we're going beyond the surface level.
Exactly.
I'm seeing a lot here about this concept called animism
Yeah.
and how that's connected to the way Japanese creators approach storytelling,
Yeah.
especially in the works of Studio Ghibli.
Right. Animism is the belief that spirits exist in all things.
Hmm.
So nature, objects, places, you name it, it's deeply ingrained in Japanese culture.
Okay.
It's really more than just a belief system. It's a way of seeing the world. It's a lens through which a lot of Japanese artists and storytellers kind of interpret reality.
So are we saying that like animism is the secret ingredient
Mm-hmm.
that gives anime its distinct flavor?
Yeah. You could say, I mean, it's not always explicitly stated,
Right.
but animistic beliefs really influence a lot of the themes and the characters.
Okay.
And even the way things look in anime.
Okay, so like for example.
Think about all those nature spirits and yokai,
Uh-huh.
those creatures you see in Japanese folklore that populate so many anime.
Oh, like the Kodama, those little tree spirits.
Exactly.
In Princess Mononoke.
Yes, perfect example.
They were adorable, but there was also something mystical about them.
Right. They embody the spirit of the forest, the interconnectedness of all living things.
Mhm.
This concept really seems to resonate with audiences,
Yeah.
even if they're not consciously aware of its animistic roots.
Okay, so it's not just about throwing in a few cute spirits here and there.
No,
This is like a worldview.
it really is.
It's like a fundamental difference in how reality is perceived.
Yeah, and that difference is what makes anime so captivating. It's like
Yeah.
this glimpse into a world where the lines are blurred between the supernatural and human,
Right.
you know, and that creates a sense of wonder and possibility that I think is pretty different from Western storytelling traditions.
Okay, now I'm thinking about Spirited Away, one of my all-time favorite Ghibli films.
Classic.
It's overflowing with spirits and creatures inspired by Japanese folklore.
It is.
Like one of the main characters, Haku.
Yeah.
He's not just a boy who can transform into a dragon.
Right.
He's the spirit of the Kahaku River.
Exactly. Haku is a brilliant example of how these animistic beliefs are woven into these stories. He's not just a shape-shifting dragon, he's the embodiment of this natural element. A river with a spirit and a will of its own.
Wow.
This adds a layer of depth and meaning to his character, I think,
Yeah.
connecting him to the very essence of the Japanese landscape.
This is making me think about something I read in one of the articles about Satoyama.
Okay.
In Japanese culture.
Yeah.
It's this idea of humans living in harmony with nature
Right.
and respecting the spirits that inhabit the natural world.
Yeah, absolutely. Satoyama is a beautiful illustration of how these beliefs translate into values.
Okay.
It emphasizes that interdependence between humans and nature.
Right, like in Princess Mononoke.
Yes, particularly.
The forest isn't just a backdrop.
No, it's not.
It's like a living, breathing entity
It is.
with spirits and gods who protect it.
And the conflict arises from humans disrupting that balance.
Exactly.
Yeah, the film really critiques human greed and exploitation of nature,
Yeah.
reflecting, I think, a very deeply held belief in the importance of respecting the natural world and its spiritual inhabitants.
Right.
And that's a theme that I think resonates with global audiences concerned about the environment.
So animism isn't just some ancient belief system.
No.
It's a living philosophy that influences how Japanese creators approach storytelling
Yes.
and address contemporary issues.
Precisely. And it's one of the key factors, I think, that make anime so powerful and thought-provoking. It allows us to explore these really complex themes
Right.
through this uniquely Japanese lens.
Okay.
And it expands our understanding of ourselves and the world around us.
I'm starting to see anime in a whole new light.
I think that happens a lot.
It's like I've been watching these films for years, but now I have a deeper appreciation
Yeah.
for all those nuances and the meaning behind the fantastical elements.
That's the beauty of diving deeper into a subject.
Yeah.
You know, you start to see the interconnectedness of things,
Right.
how cultural beliefs shape artistic expression,
Mm-hmm.
and how those expressions can resonate with people far beyond their origins.
Okay, so we've established animism plays a significant role in shaping the themes and characters of many anime.
For sure.
But does this influence go beyond the narrative level?
Mm.
Does it affect the visual style of anime?
That's a great question, and the answer is yes.
Okay.
The visual aesthetics of anime are often deeply intertwined with traditional Japanese art forms and sensibilities. One example that comes to mind is the use of ma, negative space,
Right.
in traditional Japanese art and anime.
Is that like the empty spaces that you see in Japanese paintings and woodblock prints?
Exactly.
Yeah.
In Western art, we tend to fill every inch of the canvas with detail.
Right.
But in Japanese aesthetics, empty space is just as important as the objects or figures that are depicted. It creates a sense of balanced tranquility and allows the viewer's eye to kind of rest and contemplate the image.
So it's like the silence between the notes and music.
You got it?
Right.
It gives the sounds more power and allows the listener to absorb the emotion.
Okay.
Ma is all about creating atmosphere and evoking emotions through subtle visual cues. And this concept is masterfully employed in anime.
Right.
Take a look at a Ghibli film like Spirited Away. You'll notice how the animators use ma to create a sense of peace and wonder, particularly in those scenes that depict the spirit world.
Now that you mention it, I remember those scenes vividly.
Yeah,
There's a sense of tranquility and mystery
absolutely.
that pervades the spirit world.
Yeah,
And it's not just because of the characters of the story.
right.
It's the way the scenes are framed.
Yes.
The use of empty space to draw your eye to certain details, the way the colors and the light create a mood.
Exactly. The animators are using visual language informed by centuries of Japanese artistic tradition.
Wow.
And this connection to traditional aesthetics is another layer that adds depth and complexity to anime.
It's like anime is this beautiful tapestry woven from multiple threads,
Yeah.
storytelling, cultural beliefs, artistic traditions, and contemporary concerns.
Right.
All these elements come together to create something truly unique and captivating.
That's a wonderful way to put it, and it's this rich tapestry, I think, that makes anime such a global phenomenon, appealing to audiences across cultures and generations.
This is making me want to rewatch all my favorite anime
It always does.
with like a newfound appreciation for all these details I might have missed before.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ghibli, we haven't even touched upon like the genius of Hayao Miyazaki and his team.
Studio Ghibli.
Right.
A treasure trove of cultural insights and visual storytelling mastery. Their films deserve a deep dive all on their own.
Right.
But for now,
Yeah.
let's focus on one particular Ghibli masterpiece
Okay.
that exemplifies many of the points we've discussed so far.
Okay.
Spirited Away.
Okay. Spirited Away. It is.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go deeper into this magical world and uncover all its hidden meanings.
Let's do it.
Okay. So we're diving back into Spirited Away,
Yes,
a film that seems to be bursting with cultural significance.
it really is.
Where do we even begin?
Well, let's start with the setting itself.
Okay.
A bathhouse for spirits.
Okay. A bathhouse for spirits. I can already see where this is going. It's not just about getting clean.
No, not at all. You see, in Shintoism, Japan's indigenous religion purification rituals are incredibly important. Water, especially natural springs, is seen as having cleansing properties, both physically and spiritually.
Okay.
And the bathhouse in Spirited Away really embodies this concept. It serves as this liminal space between the human and spirit worlds where spirits can cleanse themselves and rejuvenate.
This makes me think about Chihiro's journey throughout the film.
Okay.
She literally has to cleanse herself of her human impurities
Right.
to enter the spirit world
Yeah.
and then undergoes this process of spiritual purification.
Yes.
And she navigates this unfamiliar realm.
That's a fantastic observation. You know, her journey isn't just a physical adventure.
Right.
It's a symbolic representation of spiritual growth and transformation.
Okay.
She has to shed her human ego, confront her fears, and learn to coexist with the spirits in order to find her true self.
There's this one scene that always sticks with me. Chihiro offering no-face that masked spirit some of the herbal medicine she's been given. Initially, I just saw it as a kind gesture.
Yeah.
But knowing what we do now about Japanese culture, I'm guessing there's more to it.
Oh, absolutely. That seemingly simple act is brimming with cultural significance.
Okay.
You see, in Japan, herbal medicine, or kampo, isn't just about treating physical ailments.
Right.
It's also believed to have spiritual healing properties.
So Chihiro was offering no-face more than just medicine.
Right.
She's trying to heal his spirit, which seems to be consumed by greed and loneliness.
Precisely. And this act ties back to the concept of purification we discussed earlier.
Okay.
Chihiro, through her compassion and selflessness, is attempting to purify No-Face of the negative energies that are tormenting him.
Wow, the layers of meaning here are astounding.
I know, right?
Like every detail, every action is imbued with cultural significance.
It is.
This is making me think about the visual style of the film. Is there a connection between the way Spirited Away looks and these animistic beliefs we've been talking about?
Absolutely. Let's take the character of No-Face as an example.
Okay.
Visually, he's a fascinating representation of animistic beliefs.
Okay.
He's amorphous, constantly shifting, and his true nature is never fully revealed. This visual ambiguity reflects the Japanese concept of the mujin, the boundless and the formless, which is often associated with the spirit world.
So it's like No-Face embodies the mystery and the unknown that surrounds the spirit world.
Exactly.
His ever-changing form reflects the fact that spirits are often perceived as elusive and enigmatic beings.
Precisely. And this ties back to the concept of Ma, the negative space we discussed earlier.
Yep.
No-Face, despite his visual prominence, often appears within these vast, empty spaces, further emphasizing his connection to the Mujin. This use of Ma creates a sense of awe and wonder, inviting the viewer to contemplate the mysteries of the unseen world.
This is making me rethink so many scenes from Spirited Away.
It's amazing, isn't it?
The way the animators use light and shadow,
Yeah.
the vastness of the spirit world, the subtle expressions on the characters' faces.
It all plays a part.
It's all part of this visual language.
Yes.
That's deeply rooted in Japanese cultural aesthetics and animistic beliefs.
And it's this mastery of visual storytelling that elevates Spirited Away. From a mere children's film to a work of art that transcends cultural boundaries. It speaks to these universal human experiences of fear, wonder, the search for identity, all while offering a glimpse into this very unique cultural and spiritual landscape of Japan.
This deep dive has been incredibly eye-opening.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see anime, especially Ghibli films, not just as entertainment, but as windows into a different way of seeing the world.
It is a different way of seeing the world.
A world where spirits reside in nature, objects have souls, and purification is a journey of self-discovery.
And that's the magic of art, isn't it?
Yeah.
It can transport us to different worlds, challenge our perspectives, and connect us to cultures and beliefs beyond our own.
So what does all this mean for anime fans around the world? We're not all steeped in Japanese culture, so how can we appreciate these nuances?
That's a great question, and it brings us to the heart of why anime resonates with global audiences.
Okay.
While animistic beliefs are deeply rooted in Japanese culture, the themes they inspire, respect for nature, the interconnectedness of all things, the search for identity, those are universal human experiences.
It's like even though we may not have yokai in our folklore, we all have stories about supernatural beings and the mysteries of the unseen world.
That's right. And anime brings these themes to life in such a visually captivating and emotionally resonant way.
Exactly. And it's important to remember appreciating cultural nuances doesn't require us to become experts in Japanese folklore or religion.
No, not at all.
It's about being open to different perspectives.
Yes.
Recognizing the influence of culture on art and enjoying the richness and depth that those influences bring to the storytelling experience.
I agree.
So for our listeners out there who are eager to delve deeper into the world of anime, what advice would you give them?
I would say approach anime with a sense of curiosity and wonder.
Okay.
Pay attention to the visual details, the recurring themes, the ways in which nature is portrayed. The relationships between humans and the spirit world. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Okay.
Research unfamiliar concepts and draw connections between what you see on screen and the cultural context we've explored today.
This deep dive has definitely sparked my curiosity to learn more.
Me too.
I feel like I have a whole new set of tools to analyze and appreciate anime.
That's great.
Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
I think the most important takeaway is that anime is more than just entertainment. It's a reflection of this rich cultural heritage and a unique way of seeing the world. By understanding those influences, we can deepen our appreciation for this art form and gain a greater understanding of ourselves and the world around us.
Well said. I think we've given our listener a lot to think about.
We have.
Thanks for joining me on this fascinating deep dive into the cultural roots of Japanese anime.
It was my pleasure. Happy watching, everyone.
It feels like we've only just scratched the surface here, you know?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
There's so much more to explore when it comes to anime and its connection to Japanese culture.
For sure, we could spend hours talking about the symbolism in Ghibli films or the influence of Shinto rituals on
Right.
character arcs.
Or how anime reflects contemporary Japanese society.
Exactly.
But I think we've given our listener a solid foundation,
I think so.
right?
Yeah.
We've explored the concept of animism and how it influences storytelling. We delved into the cultural significance of certain settings and characters. And we even touched on the visual language of anime and its connection to traditional Japanese aesthetics.
Yeah, and most importantly, I think we've highlighted that anime is a powerful medium that can transcend cultural boundaries
Oh, sure.
and invite viewers from all over the world to engage with different perspectives
Right?
and explore, new ways of understanding the human experience.
So for our listener who's been on this journey with us,
Yeah.
what would you say is the most important thing to remember as they continue their own exploration of anime?
I would say keep your mind open and embrace the journey. Don't be afraid to question, analyze, and draw your own conclusions.
Right.
Remember that every anime, every character, every scene is a product of a specific cultural context.
Right.
By understanding that context, we can unlock deeper layers of meaning and appreciate the richness and complexity of this art form.
This has been such an insightful deep dive. I feel like I've not only gained a greater appreciation for anime,
Yeah.
but I've also learned something valuable about Japanese culture and the power of storytelling to connect us across cultures.
And that, I believe, is the true magic of anime. It's a bridge between worlds, a window into different ways of seeing and understanding the world around us.
Thank you for guiding us through this fascinating exploration.
It was my pleasure.
And to our listener, keep exploring, keep questioning, and most importantly,
Yes.
keep enjoying the wonderful world of anime.
Absolutely.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this episode of The Deep Dive. We hope this has inspired you to look at your favorite anime with fresh eyes and a deeper appreciation for the cultural tapestry woven into every frame. Until next time, happy watching.